Okay, so let's talk quickly about color management and linear workflow and textures in Arnold. So when we looked earlier at the texture tab in the render settings, you probably saw this auto-convert textures to TX and thought, what the hell is that? So it's pretty simple. Don't be scared of the TX format. Whichever texture you input into Arnold, Arnold will create a separate image file in a TX format. This TX format is essentially either a glorified EXR or a glorified TIFF, and it contains some extra data to make Arnold a bit faster. So, there's a few things we need to discuss over here. First, we'll talk about MIP mapping, which is the second option over here. So MIP mapping is something Arnold does in order to use less memory. Essentially, you store the same image in multiple resolutions in one image container. And what this allows you to do is when you've got a hero object with 58K textures, and at the moment it only takes about 10 pixels on the screen. Well, if you need to do that for 50 characters, then you're going to run out of RAM really quickly, whilst it's totally unnecessary. So Arnold provides the automatic option that it will only load the resolution which it thinks is needed. And it works incredibly well. So that is MIP mapping. Only loading the resolution of the image that it actually needs and storing certain resolutions in the same image container. Then there's another process happening when textures are converted to the TX format, and that is linearization. What you need to know about this is Arnold works in linear space internally. So all the mathematics is done in linear space. That's how they work, that's how they should be done. And so this leaves us with two cases really. So if Arnold expects all images to be linear, then we can either have the case where we have an image that is already linear, for example, a Z displacement or a roughness map, where the values in the image can, they're not colors, they need to stay the same. So in that case, you want to set the color space to raw, which is the same as linear color space. So in this case, Arnold will not do any conversion or do any linearization on your image. And the other case would of course be color textures. So in the case where colors are important, you just leave this to sRGB or Rec 709 or whatever space you're in. And that is all we need to do. By the way, Arnold also has the AI image format, which I prefer. It's exactly the same format as the Maya nodes, but just without this annoying place2D node. It's got the UV coordinates built in. I prefer to use this one, and exactly the same color space rules apply. So, all you need to do to work linearly in Arnold is set this color space to the right color space your texture is in. There is no other gamma nodes coming after it or anything like that. And the reason why we do it this way, that the linearization happens before the MIP mapping, is because the mathematics need to work that way. So if I would add a gamma node over here after the MIP mapping, it would not be 100% correct, and that is not the way we should work. So the linearization happens before the MIP mapping, and that is why we supply these color space rules over here already. So that's really all there is to the linear workflow and the textures in Arnold. So key, don't be afraid of the TX textures, they're just a glorified EXR or TIFF.